Hello, everyone. This is Wrestling Discussion, a YouTube channel that discusses professional wrestling. So, Raw on Netflix. What a first show. What an opening show here. Show started off with Rock coming out as the final boss character, his final boss persona. But it wasn't heel final boss. We got babyface final boss Rock. He thanked the crowd. He went into his babyface routine. He gave kudos to Cody Rhodes for carrying the company on his back the last year, congratulated him, even went out and gave him a hug when the segment was over when he left, indicating that we are not going to see The Rock at WrestleMania 41 in any sort of competitive heel capacity, like we were all hoping. Kind of ripped the Band-Aid off that early. Unfortunate, but that's the truth of it. So the first match, Solo Sikoa versus Roman Reigns, Tribal Combat. This had a big fight feel to it. I thought Solo Sikoa did more than enough to really show himself as a heel, to show himself as a top guy. He got a lot of offense in as a heel. I love the way that he was speaking to Roman, saying, I loved you, I loved you. You know, after all I did for you, I loved you. I wanted you to come join me. He was really talking, and I found this production element to be interesting. You know, during the COVID audience-less era of WWE back in 2020 and early to mid-2021, you could really hear the wrestlers speak in the ring, and it had that cinematic feel to it, right? And you can tell this is an element of production they wanted to keep, but especially during the Netflix era. You really heard the words emphasized more, especially from Solo in this match. That was something they wanted to keep, and boy, production values, that's another conversation for another video, but this was off the charts. And in this match, as I said, it really showed Solo's strengths. Now, they would go back and forth, and, I thought Roman looked good. I thought Roman did a great job selling. He did a great job making Solo Sikoa look like a real credible, viable heel. Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu would come out and they would attack Roman. And they would almost have Solo win. I thought, he kicked out of maybe a little bit too much. I think he kicked out of a splash and a couple Samoan spikes. It was almost a little bit too much, but I understand it. It's Netflix, it's drama, it's Roman Reigns, it's the Bloodline. That's just the way wrestling is now. You're going to kick out of finishes sometimes. That Pandora's box has been open, and I don't think it's ever getting shut back, so I understand it. But then the baby faces came out, Sami Zayn and Jimmy Uso. They made the save, went after Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga, and Roman Reigns would hit a spear. Solo would kick out. Out comes Kevin Owens. He would come in a way that you didn't see coming, right? Because Roman was about to hit another spear, then Kevin Owens, he hits the stunner, and Solo Sikoa, I think, hits another spike, and he almost wins, but does it, and then Kevin Owens is punching, getting some offense in on Roman, losing his mind because he hates the Bloodline, and out comes Cody Rhodes to fight off Kevin and get him away. And that clears the deck for Roman Reigns to hit his spear, 1, 2, 3, and we have the rightful OTC. The original Tribal Chief is now the true Tribal Chief, right? And then out comes Rock, and there's this noticeable tension, and Rock is giving Roman this look, they're giving each other this look, and it's almost like something's going to happen, but it doesn't. That's one thing I didn't like about it. We as an audience kept expecting something to happen, but it didn't. I don't want to say it ruined it, because it didn't ruin it. It was a fantastic segment. They did what they were trying to do here, right? They pulled the Band-Aid off, and they let you know that heel Rock wasn't going to be a thing, at least for the foreseeable future, at least for WrestleMania 41. He wasn't going to be that heel persona. He put the Ula Fala around Roman's neck, and he stood there in the corner, and he let Roman do his thing. And it was almost like, this is good, makes sense. The if you couldn't have heel Rock, then the next best thing was to have babyface Roman triumph. But boy, the story was building towards Rock and Roman and Rock and Cody, and that was the whole point. You know, the end of Bad Blood, when The Rock comes out, it was leading to that, but the story has to change now because The Rock has Hollywood commitments. But it's alright. It's alright. It's alright. I'm sure they'll have an interesting story to follow up on, I'm sure. No doubt. Yeah, another thing about that match, too, after Kevin Owens interfered, I was expecting Drew McIntyre to hit Roman with a Claymore and help Solo get a 1-2-3. You know, in storyline, I've made a couple videos about this. Those two had a truce. Those two have a truce. Drew McIntyre and Solo Sikoa, you scratch my back, I scratch yours sort of thing, but that didn't happen. Now, I understand why. Drew McIntyre had a match later on in the night with Jay, and maybe you didn't want to ruin it with him by having the crowd see him twice. You know, they see him once. If they see him once, Claymore Roman, and he gets a heel pop, then the heel pop he would get from his entrance music later on would be maybe less than. But storyline-wise, I almost thought Drew would be out there. But, you know, that's okay. That's okay, too. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. You know, later on, they did a segment with Roman and Paul Heyman walking in the back, and Paul Heyman wanted to have some sort of acknowledgement ceremony where they would acknowledge Roman, and he would put the Ula Fala around his neck. And then Roman Reigns says the date January 27th as he walks into a door that says WWE 2K25. So I guess Roman's going to be on the cover. That's cool. I'm playing WWE 2K24. Great game. 2K25, no doubt, will be awesome too. Great match. Really good, solid segment. Rip the Band-Aid off of the heel Rock expectations versus Roman and the heel Rock expectations versus Cody. Which it's a little bit of cold water on fan anticipation, because I think fans really wanted to see that, but you know, they had to rip the Band-Aid off and show us that we weren't, and that's okay. So we got the babyface Roman triumphing. Now, what happens with Bloodline 2.0? Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, those guys. Man, you know, Solo Sikoa is supposed to be a monster heel, the next monster heel. At least that's the way he's been presented as. But he's done a lot of jobs on TV for that, hasn't he? And I understand. He's done a lot of jobs, you know, premium live events, TV. Because if you think about it, SummerSlam, he lost to Cody. Cage match on SmackDown, he lost to Cody. Bad Blood, he lost to Roman and Cody, right? And now he lost at Survivor Series and War Games. And now he's lost in this Tribal Combat match versus Roman. That's a lot of on-screen jobs for the next top heel to be doing. I hope they really let him and this new bloodline, if it's going to be a thing, really go on a destructive path. Because I don't want to see that ruined. I think he's done too good of a job. I think he's proven himself in the role. But that's going to be all for this one, guys. Thanks.